Let's turn now to Judge Ronald Sackville, a judge at the Federal Court of Australia from 1994 to 2008, who yesterday wrote a piece in The Australian that argued that only a Commonwealth Royal Commission can expose the full scale of anti-Semitism in Australia. He said the failures that led to the Bondi massacre and Albanese's refusal is deepening national disunity. Judge Sackville, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. And I'm no longer a judge, but that's fine.
In that case, Ronald Sackville, can I ask you...
That's perfect.
Can I ask you, as a lawyer, what is it that a Commonwealth Royal Commission can do that, say, the Richardson Review can't do?
Well, as your previous speaker, Joel, said, the Richardson Review is concerned with a very specific aspect of what has happened, investigating what have obviously been fairly profound failures that led to the massacre that took place on the 14th of December. That review clearly can't examine the issue of anti-Semitism as a whole. My starting point for all of this is that we are going to have a New South Wales Royal Commission. The Premier of New South Wales has said that. Once you've got a New South Wales Royal Commission, there seems to be no rational reason to confine a Royal Commission to the state of New South Wales. Anti-Semitism does not stop on the northern boundary of the Murray River or halfway across the runway at Coolangatta Airport. It's obviously a national problem. What has happened in Victoria in relation to anti-Semitism, and not just the fire bombings and all the really dreadful things that have occurred in that sense, but anti-Semitism inflicted on the community as a whole deserves to be investigated. And more importantly, in a way, the people who have experienced anti-Semitism deserve to have their say in a Royal Commission. They can do so safely and with support. The idea that the government is trying to protect them from being re-traumatised strikes me as really quite ridiculous. And only a national Royal Commission can investigate the broader issues that are so terribly important, both for the Jewish community and the broader community.
One of the points that you made in your article was there is a residue of expertise in the Commonwealth Public Service. They've run a lot of Royal Commissions in the past. They know the mechanism. There are people there who know how to make it work. That's important, isn't it?
It is important. I actually was the chair of the Disability Royal Commission that ran from 2019 to 2023. I therefore observed at very close quarters how the Attorney General's Department, through the Royal Commission's branch, can set up a Royal Commission very swiftly, can provide it with the resources that are required and the support. That kind of support is absolutely essential to have a Royal Commission of the magnitude that would be required. That doesn't mean that a Royal Commission is necessarily going to take the 4 years that the Disability Royal Commission took. Of course, it can be for a shorter period, but it does have to examine the broader issues, and it has the power to do so. Even the Richardson inquiry will not have powers of compulsion, for example, to require Commonwealth agencies to provide reports in writing that, if necessary, can be made public by the Royal Commission and expose the difficulties that do need to be addressed.
And as I understand it, the Robodebt Royal Commission only ran for 10 months. So in other words, they don't need to run for years, do they?
They don't necessarily need to run for years. The broader the terms of reference, then obviously the longer the period that is required. The Disability Royal Commission, as it happens, had extremely broad terms of reference, and we were affected, among other things, of course, by COVID that made life very difficult for about 2 years. So no, a Royal Commission is capable of being completed within a shorter time than that, and moreover, it can produce interim reports. And the Disability Royal Commission produced a substantial number of interim reports, some of which contained recommendations that were in fact implemented during the course of the Royal Commission itself.
And is it important that the hearings are public, that we as the Australian people know what's going on?
That's absolutely essential. It's a critical part of a royal commission. Obviously, there can be evidence on certain matters that involve national security that might require the commission to keep that material secret. There is also provision in the legislation if there are recommendations that expose someone to a criminal prosecution. It may be that the Royal Commission produces a report that is confidential in part so as not to prejudice contemplated criminal proceedings. But overall, it's absolutely imperative that the proceedings take place in public. It's imperative in this case that the Australian community at large understands what has happened in this country, particularly over the last 2 years, but even before that. That's an absolutely critical part of a National Royal Commission, and it's what this country, in my opinion, desperately needs.
And in the opinion of many other people, Ronald Sackville, thank you very much for your time tonight.